convince yourself that you're in the hunt. You know what I mean? If you're
I
within,
heard last night there's still 11 teams that are in that last wild card spot.
Right. I mean, and that's why I'm saying if you make your cutoff, and if you went even bigger with your cutoff, you could add more teams into that. But even if you just wanted to keep it at 6 or 7 games, there's still a large group of players, of teams, whether it's their division or the wild cards that are still in play in various places, which it changes the dynamic of the trade deadline a bit.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, any move we make is either going to help us or hurt us. I'd like to see, like a starting pitcher and maybe a couple of prospects.
I would too. I mean, I have no problem. Listen, I don't have a problem with bringing in a couple of prospects here. There's nothing wrong with beefing up your farm system. I know that we're not getting, I said it yesterday, you're not getting, top prospects, Lindor prospects, but the Indians have shown a good job, at least in the more recent history, of picking out some decent prospects from other teams and then being able to develop them. So perhaps that part I'm not looking at. That doesn't mean you're giving up on the season either. Just because you trade Cabrera and Masterson, even if you only trade them for prospects, it doesn't mean you're giving up on the season because you haven't gotten anything from them. So you're not exactly tearing apart the team by trading those guys. Because I've had people tell me, it's time to close up shop and trade those guys. And I say, well, you can trade those guys without having to close up shop because you haven't gotten anything. All you're going to do is slide Aviles over and probably sooner rather than later bring Lindor up, which I continue to say if you trade Cabrera, that becomes sooner rather than later. And Masterson's not pitching now. He's not pitching for you.
I have seen Lindor, and he's major league ready.
Everybody that's seen him knows that, man. Everybody.
So
I'm with it, Bruce.
The thing that got me was Santana. I mean, 2 weeks ago, you couldn't have got anybody to even talk to you if you'd mentioned Santana. And now, all of a sudden, every team in the league wants to trade for him.
Well, I don't know, man. I disagree. I think 2 weeks ago, any team in the league would have still traded for him. I think the fans looked at it differently because if you look, and I'm a little surprised you said that because you watch every game very closely. You know what kind of a hitter Carlos Santana is.
I would never trade Santana.
Right.
But
I disagree with what you said. I think 2 weeks ago, I don't care. I think 2 months ago, when he was hitting less than 200, there still would have been a trade market for Carlos Santana.
And the whole thing about that is that Tito kept saying, well, he walks a lot,
Right. And the problem with
that is... Do you
want
your number 4 hitter to be walking?
I agree with the placement in the lineup, but I also agree with what Francona says from that because it's one thing if a guy has a low batting average and he's just not doing anything, but you and I talk about how much more, that's a significantly higher on-base percentage than his batting average has been. I mean, that still, and what makes that to me more impressive is the fact that he wasn't hitting and he was still drawing walks because like any announcer, I listen to the games from the other team's feed sometimes and to hear what the other teams say. And I think to a man, every series, the one comment that I hear from the visiting team is, I can't believe he walks as much as he does when he was hitting below 200 for the first month and a half of the season, only because common sense would tell you if a guy's hitting that low, don't walk him, go right after him and just go after him. But there's a reason that guys couldn't go after him because they knew that Carlos Santana was in a slump, but he could hit the ball. So there was a reason that teams didn't just start trying to gobble up Santana because he could still work them and get on base. So,
but to me, the thing about that, too, is that a walk doesn't count as a time at bat, so that really shows how bad he was hitting.
Oh, absolutely. Bro, we pointed it out. Where that 6 weeks really drug that average down to the point that, he's hitting 300 since then. And he's one of the top 10 power hitters in all of baseball, not just in the league, in all of baseball since then. And his average is still just climbing up. It's going to take...
Yeah, just his weight now.
And I think he'll get there. I think he'll hit at this pace close to it. He's not going to hit a home run a game, but he's going to hit at this pace, I think, the rest of the way. He seems to have warmed up enough that... Because we're not talking about a hot week. We're talking about a couple of months here now. So he'll probably get that average back up 260-ish or so before the season's over. And if he can do that, then I think that's a successful recovery, especially when you realize that his bad period was that first 5.5 weeks of the season, that first 35, 40 games.
most of the arguments that I had was, if the guy's batting low, put him down further in the order.
Now, see,
if you look at our lineup, we're going to have, 9 number 9 hitters,
Absolutely.
You can't
Bruce.
bat everybody that's not hitting at the bottom of your order.
Absolutely.
That's like our AAA pitching and our AA, fielding.
Oh, I know, man. I know, my man. Bruce, anything else? Otherwise, I got to move on.
No, that's it.
All right. As always, a great phone call. Some great useless information to start out the show. Appreciate the call, my man. You're the king of it. I love it. Thank you. Bruce, my man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. 216-539-7535, the number to call. We got to get to a break here and get moving on. But a couple of notes real quick. Something real small I noticed. I'm going to say this going to the break. I don't know if you guys saw. We talked about, Miami radio loves us here in Cleveland. How about Dan LeBatard? Did you guys hear it's starting to get out now? He tried to buy an ad in the Plain Dealer. I just get a kick out of the irony and sometimes the things that we see in the media in sports. He wanted to buy an ad. The Plain Dealer rejected it because it was a big photo of the 2 Miami rings, the Miami Heat championship rings, and it was "You're welcome, LeBron," sarcastically signed the Miami Heat fans because there's an uproar on sports talk radio in Miami that LeBron didn't thank the Miami fans after he left town. And I'm like, hey, you can thank Pat Riley, you can thank Dwayne Wade, you can thank Spo, thank any of those guys, man. Thank a lot of different people. But I don't know if he had to go out of his way to thank one of the worst fan bases in all of sports. I mean, I'm pretty sure LeBron remembers looking around when he passed it to Ray Allen in Game 6 and seeing nobody in the building. But anyways, but I'm like, are you serious? After like, we're not trying to reopen history, but we all know what happened before. Like, there's a lot of different situations here of ways guys leave, and everybody talks about, hey man, he did a classy thing with the way he did the letter, and he thanked everybody, and he was very classy about the way, and he thanked everybody in the Heat organization. But now those goofs on Miami Sports Talk Radio are mad that he didn't personally thank those awesome Miami Heat fans down there. Damn, LeBron, I guess you messed up on that one. Now, word is out. We don't know yet. The Akron Beacon Journal has the same ad on them. So maybe they'll reject it. Maybe they won't. We'll find out. But get out of here. LeBatard's a goof, man. Don't even get me started on those guys. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that. I got a kick out of that. I saw the ad. It was funny. Hey, the other thing I saw last night as we head to the break, Browns had a night off. No bed checks. Johnny Manziel went out on the town in Berea. He was out at $2 last night. Guess what? No pictures, no selfies. There was no media mob. I didn't see it on the news. They weren't following. It was proven last night that John Manziel can leave his house, go out, have some beverages, and return home without it being a national news story. Honestly, it happened last night. So I got a kick out of that. I said, here, he can't go anywhere without him taking a picture and putting it up, and TMZ's there and everything else. He's trolling around Berea last night, hitting up the bar. Nobody's bothering Johnny Manziel. See? He can blend in just like anybody else, man. But anyways, we're going to take a break, come right back, and pick that conversation up in Berea. Josh Gordon, a lot of things coming to light here about his appeal and the testing procedures and all of that. We're going to get into that. And Ray Rice, I got 2 things to say about his situation. How ironic. Speaking of irony, Stephen A. Smith gets more of a punishment than Ray Rice does. We're going to talk about Ray Rice and Stephen A. and Josh Gordon and secondhand smoke and all of that when we come back, talking some Browns here on the Sports Fix. Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com just about 15 minutes from now. Dan Wismar at the top of the hour, and you and me and you, baby. Let's do it. You're listening to the Sports Fix. We'll be right back. Johnny Football was dancing the night away in Berea. Nobody even bothered him.
The Sports Fix, the show that asks the question,
what you talking about, Lou? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou?
We'll be right back.
Guys, want to take just a second as we head into this break and remind you about the official business printing source of the Sports Fix, our friends at Signs and Ship. Signs and Ship, I'm telling you, Chris and Pam, they've taken care of me since day one, and they can do the same for you. Whether you're a small business that's already been established and you're looking to grow to that next level and expand your business, or perhaps you've got an idea that you just know is going to be a great business and you need to figure out how to brand it and how to promote it and put it out there, Signs and Ship is the place for you. If you need a logo, they can create one for you. They have a fantastic graphic designer. Business cards, signs, banners, yard signs, mobile advertising, anything you can think of that you need to promote your business, they've got it at Signs and Ship. The best thing about them, too, is each of their locations, whether it's the home base here in Elyria, Ohio that I work with, or their spots in Virginia, Florida, and Pennsylvania, it's all local sourced. Very important to me because we all understand that small business is the lifeblood of the community. So check them out, signsandship.com, or call Chris and Pam today, 440-323-6060, the home office in Elyria, Ohio. Signs and Ship, quality printing at affordable prices.
It's an addiction. The Sports Fix. We'll be right back.
In baseball, miracles can happen when a team works together.
2 out, bottom of the ninth.
Down to their last strike.
The same is true in the fight against cancer. That's why MLB has teamed up with Stand Up to Cancer. Because we believe that when we all stand up together,
41,000 on their feet.
we can make cancer history.
Now everybody's standing.
What a buzz in this building.
This is beyond a dream. Stand up with MLB at standuptocancer.org.
The Sports Fix is on iHeartRadio. Download the free iHeart app today. Subscribe to the show and get your fix.
Indians fans, GV Art and Design has unleashed their new baseball collection. This summer, you've got to have one of the hottest baseball shirts available. Indians themes, GV Art has them covered from top to bottom. Chief Wahoo, keep the Chief, one of the hottest sellers going today. GV Artwork, knocking it out of the park, teaming up with Michael Brantley to create a custom Dr. Smooth t-shirt, bringing back an old classic. GV Artwork, bringing out the wild thing. Give them the heater design. The Cleveland That I Glove collection continues to grow. New designs for women and so much more. GVArtwork.com, bringing it full force to the plate for baseball season this year. Whether you check them out online, GVArtwork.com, use the sales code FIX10, FIX10 to save 10% on your total purchase. Whether you go to their store in Lakewood, check them out at the Cleveland Indians team shops around Progressive Field, and so much more. GV Art and Design. It's not just a shirt, it's a statement.
You're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix, live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. J-Rock back with you, show rolling on. And I just mentioned what I did before the break about John Manziel, because some people, like literally have, when we've talked, they've said, hey, man, it's not his fault. He can't leave the house without a press trail. Look, he doesn't want the attention. All I was saying was bogus. Come on. He was traveling around Berea last night just fine, and it wasn't a major media circus. That's all I'm saying. It is no way a shot at him at all. It was actually proving my point there that no, that's not true. But I got a kick out of that because I'm like, man, there's half of Cleveland probably doesn't even know. Like, oh man, he was out last night. I could have went and met Johnny in football, but he didn't know. I'm just saying, my point was just simply that the trumpets don't blare, and the three-ring circus doesn't necessarily follow that man everywhere he goes, as was evidenced last night. So Browns had the night off, no bed checks. Now they're back into the into camp mode here, and I want to jump. Actually, before I talk about Josh Gordon, because it's such a contrast here, and the phone lines are open for probably the next 5 or 10 minutes. 216-539-7535. 216-539-7535. Mike Brandenberry coming up just about 10 minutes or so from now.